Yo, brother, it's time for us to start talking the real, man. We've been sugarcoating too much. We've got to start calling everything out for what it is.
Hi guys, I'm here with the Begode Blitz, and it's time to give you my final wrap-up commentary about this wheel. I have to return it to E-Wheels on Monday. Today's Saturday. And Jason, if you happen to see this, again, thanks a million for providing me this wheel so I could test it and have a lot of fun with it, which I have done. Now, I have, there's 735 miles on this wheel. I think I had, I'll put the number, I think I had about 250 when I got it from New York. So I put a lot of miles on this guy. This is pretty much, except for a couple really long rides, I've been riding this wheel pretty much exclusively. I've been taking to the store. I've been, the ride I'm doing today, I'm up at Mount Baldi. Now, actually, I'm going to try and publish this as a 360 video too. I'll publish it both ways. So if you happen to see the 360, it might be interesting. You can look around and see the utter devastation. I filmed here before. I'm up just less than a mile from the Mount Baldi village. We had, I think maybe about a month ago, a fire broke out in Angeles National Forest. We were actually up at a ride, this what we call the Mount Baldi ride. We go up GMR. It's the most glorious 25 mile mountain curvy road that you can have. It's just great. We were riding it, had lunch. On the way down, I think while we were eating lunch, a lightning strike had hit and started the fire. So when we were riding down, the road forest was still open, but we could see the flames billowing up and more lightning strikes. I mean, and that was the beginning of what devastated. If you look behind me, that all used to be trees, green. You look around behind you, up, it's just like a moonscape now. Everything's, the dirt is this black. Let's see what's going through here. Helicopter. Yeah, everywhere for just miles and miles. It destroyed property, burned down. Favorite place we used to charge up in the mountains on the other side of these mountains. I mean, I'm sure it had to have burned hundreds of thousands of acres in the mountains. And I mean, this used to be a canopy of trees, and there is just nothing living in these sections. Not a weed. I mean, pretty dramatic. Thought this might be a good backdrop for this video for some reason. I don't know. So, so I've been riding the Blitz a lot. Really enjoying the wheel. It's an interesting wheel to provide a commentary on. You know, I don't think it's the best wheel available right now. I think, you know, is it a bad wheel, a good wheel, a great wheel, best of all time wheel? I place it in the great wheel category. Personally, I think this is the best wheel that Begode has made yet. Made in terms of the quality of the build. I don't think it's necessarily the best wheel. In terms of performance wheels, you know, you've got, I guess you still have the EX30, you have the Master Pro. EX30, kind of the Sherman L has replaced that in my mind. But Master Pro, nothing comes close to that. You got this wheel. I think you got the ET Max. For me, the ET Max kind of falls in this category, and I like riding the ET Max more than I like riding this. Another helicopter coming. What's with the helicopters? Maybe they're scouting for people. I shouldn't be. The road area is closed. But I highly doubt they can see me down here. They're probably looking for flare-ups, if anything, I imagine, actually. But there's nothing here to burn. So this wheel, to me, what I really like about this wheel is it's super light. This would absolutely replace my Master. I'd have no problems getting rid of my Master. I think at the end of the day, I'd prefer to ride my ET Max for fun because it's easier for me to ride faster on the ET Max. This is a very fast wheel, and put in the right hands, it can do amazing things. But side by side, if I'm pushing it and riding fast, I look down and I'm riding much faster in the ET Max with given the same input energy of my body than I am on the Blitz. That's just me, and I love the tire and the. Did I say Master? I meant the ET Max. I love the tire in the ET Max. ET Max is a beautiful wheel. But this is super lightweight, super nimble, very nimble. Great on the trails, the little bit of trails I've been riding. It's, again, super nimble. I don't think, for me, it's the most stable wheel. Again, this is a rider's skill level. I'm probably not, I probably deal with wobbles, and not death wobbles, but just shakiness. Probably deal with wobbles than a lot of other people do. So I know some people have found this to be very stable. But in relative terms, I will get wobbles on this that I won't get on the Sherman L. And of course, Sherman L is a different class of wheel, right? But I think it's, in my mind, the wobbly tendency towards wobbliness is just a factor of being such a lightweight wheel. I've had a couple instances where I was going probably about 35 suburban streets, and I had to put on the brakes really hard. The last time I had to blow through a light that just turned red because I couldn't stop in time. It felt like it was going to lead into death wobbles if I didn't, if I kept braking. So I just put on the gas and flew through the intersection. Yeah. So but that's, again, comes down to rider skills, and I'm sure other people wouldn't have any issues hard braking. But in relative terms, this is not as stable of a wheel as some other wheels. And also there's a lot of people who will nitpick wheels. I think there's a tendency for some people to become jaded. I am not jaded with wheels. I truly love riding all wheels. I've ridden over 60 wheels. I think it's closer to 65. I've owned 46 wheels right now. I own unfortunately, in my space, I own 16 wheels right now. So I have a wide variety of wheels to pick from, and I love that because every wheel I ride, I've never ridden a wheel that feels the same. That's the beauty of the time we live in right now. Every wheel you get is really a nice wheel. You really shouldn't stress too much about buying your next wheel. If it appeals to you, buy it. It's going to be a great wheel. Since they all ride differently, I really enjoy that fact. I can pick one wheel, I can pick this, and I know it's going to have different characteristics. I pick another wheel, and it's going to ride a lot differently. And for me, that's enjoyable. And that's why actually I think if you can afford it, and a lot of people tend to go down this path, that you end up collecting wheels. You end up buying more than one wheel because they've got different purposes. So I think it's real easy to have 3, 4, 5 wheels, 6 wheels. 16 is probably excessive, I gotta admit. So the Blitz, now I have the seat that Ron Line gave me. I've been riding with for last couple weeks at least, and I've been really enjoying the riding, the seated riding. The tire on this, it's a street tire, and it rides beautifully slower speed, but I get a gyro effect when I'm riding at higher speed, standing up. I need to put more energy into getting the wheel to turn. It kind of wants to stay up at the higher speeds. But like today, I noticed when I was riding up on this mountain road, all the curvies, which you might be seeing. And if you're watching this in 360, I'll try and post the 360. I'll try and post the video of me riding the mountains near my head somewhere. I noticed when I was riding the curvies in the mountain seated, I wasn't experiencing the gyro effect. I was curving and taking tight corners, and I wasn't having to struggle to get the wheel to lean over to turn. So that's interesting. I guess if your CG is higher, then the gyro effect is more pronounced, which I haven't thought about it, but it's probably going to make sense if you do think about it. And if you want to see any of the closer details of this wheel, I shot a lot of close-up video when I unboxed it, so you can take a look at that. But just in general, it came with pre-installed Velcro, which I really like. Why is this, I think, the best Begode wheel that they've made yet? It's just the quality of the materials. I'm hoping that this becomes the new standard of all Begode wheels, meaning it's light. They've used plastics, a lot of plastic, but since I unboxed it, I've found out that these are what I call engineered plastics. They're not simple plastic. They have a lot of fiber reinforcements on it. I don't know if it's necessary in nylon, but engineered plastic. So the plastic is really tough. Wherever there's metal, they've used magnesium. Pedals are magnesium. I don't think anyone's going to want to buy any aftermarket pedals for this wheel, unless you just like the look of some aftermarket pedals. But these things are super lightweight. They're functional, just like all the other pedals from Begode. They got beautiful spikes. They sit in the position you want. You can adjust the dihedral angle. I really have the comfortable size. I know it. I love the pedals. They did not come with pads, so these are my own pads. I like the little light show here, and you can adjust that now. Make sure you get the latest firmware. You have about 6-7 different light shows you can have on these, and you can turn these off. You can turn these off if you want. The headlight, I think, is a great headlight. It could use with a cutoff on the top, so because you can still blind people in front of you. But other than that, I can ride fast in this wheel, total darkness, and I got great coverage. One thing about this light is, and I've done it, and I've seen other people who want to pick up this wheel, is naturally you can pick up the wheel from here. You can grab here. You can grab here. Lots of different places to grab. And you're supposed to grab here, but I've caught myself wanting to grab the headlight. Other people have too. It seems that that's the natural position. So I don't know. Maybe they should have put a bar down here maybe to grab hold of. But the display, everyone's already commented on the awkwardness of the display. Now, to be honest, if I'm sitting on the wheel, I can see it if I look down. I don't have to break my neck to look down to see it. And if I'm standing, I can see it if I kind of look down, even through my helmet. But I'm not giving them a pass. It's still ultimately a really bad location for the display. It should have been flat on the wheel and up front. And of course, if it's bright daylight, you can't see it. The trolley handle, it's underneath my seat, so I can't demonstrate that. But when I'm using this wheel, and I take it to stores a lot now, I just hold it like this. I'm 5'11", and this is the trolley handle, and it actually works great. But if you are using the trolley handle, it pops up, and again, it's okay. It's a reasonable height. I really wish it locked. The ET Max has the same style. The Falcon has the same style. Begode just has to put a little more energy into figuring out how to do a locking mechanism. What they should do is get a copy of the Sherman L and copy that mechanism, because they have a trolley handle that locks in the down and locks in the up. It's not brain surgery, but it's usable. But it's usable in a store, but if you're trolleying it on a rocky trail, up and down, stuff like that, that's where these non-locking trolley handles suck. The shock has been great for me. It's got 4 adjustments, so lots of adjustments, and I think you can, with the stock shock, you can get it to where you want, but of course there are aftermarket shocks and linkages that you can get to customize it further. If this were my personal wheel, I'm not sure I would go through the expense of doing that. If I only had a few wheels and this was one of my wheels, I probably would upgrade the linkages. You may have heard of the Vince CNC linkages. It's all the rage lately, and he makes awesome hardware. He's recent to the scene, and people are using it and loving it. So I would probably, if I only had a few wheels, then I would probably invest more money to upgrade. But it's been working great for me. The mudguard works fantastic. Really covers the tire. I've ridden through puddles and stuff and haven't gotten anything on my body. I do kind of, this is common again to the Begode wheels lately. It's just hard to get a good charge. I've never really gotten 134.4 volts on this. Pretty much when I assume a full charge for me is about a little over 132 volts. That's just reality. That's what it was today. But I rode up here. I rode about 30 miles to get here, and I had about 50% battery. The thing is, it'll drop quickly to 85%, and then it's a slow drop from there. There's very, very little voltage sag in this wheel. I mean, you might think when you unplug it and start riding it, wow, this thing's dropping fast. But once it gets down to 85% battery, then it's just like sits there, even if you lean hard into it, which is cool. The range, I'm going to do a range test tomorrow, so you might see the formal numbers of that after this video. But generally, I've been getting great range for me. I've been able to zip around what I call blitzing around for me, 25 to 30 miles an hour around town, and I've done errand runs where I've ridden 40 to 50 miles and had excess of 40% battery at the end of it. Of course, if you're going to be riding 50 miles an hour, pedal to the metal, you're not going to get great mileage, right? But I think if you're just kind of a normal person like me, you're not a heavy-duty racer, you're going to get great range with this wheel. Now, of course, we've all heard about the XWay, which is coming out. Now, this you can buy now. XWay might not be available to the end of the year. I think I'm going to have access to one in a week or two. We'll see. It'll be very interesting to compare that to this, because it obviously kind of looks like it from what I've seen. But again, I'm not jaded. I'm not going to stress. Some people, boy, does this wheel have 5 millimeters more travel than this other wheel? It's so easy to nitpick at this point, but all the wheels we are having are great. So I'd say if you happen to if you have a Blitz, don't be upset that you missed the XWay. Enjoy the Blitz. The Blitz is a great wheel. It's a blast to ride. I have a lot of fun with it. Buy a wheel that appeals to your sense of style and riding, and just enjoy the wheel. So I guess, like I said at the beginning, I say this is a great wheel. I don't think it's necessarily the best wheel on the planet. Definitely a great wheel. I believe this is the best built Begode wheel. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention about build quality is the weatherproofing. I've taken this apart, and the weatherproofing in the control board is out of this world. Best weatherproofing. I would honestly have no issue riding this wheel as it is in a downpour. Absolutely fantastic weatherproofing from the top. All the connections that go into this go through really beefy grommets, rubber seals. All the electrical connections external to this, the wires that go to the display, to the light, to the beeper, to these lights, they all, well, you can't see it, but they all use weatherproof connectors. No more, which is great for weatherproofing, but also if you want to customize your wheel, if you want to change out something, you can just disconnect, take your other accessory and put a compatible connector on it. Boom. You don't have to open up the shell to get into it. Again, I hope the magnesium, I hope the plastics, I hope the weatherproofing, the connectors, I really think that is what's going to be going forward on all Begode wheels, which is just phenomenal. All right, starting to ramble. I will leave you with that. I think it's a great wheel, and if you got one, I think you would have a blast blitzing around around your part of the world with it. And with that, I'm going to wish you safe riding, and I'm going to get myself down out of this moonscape and back to civilization. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, got something out of it, and until next time, safe blitzing.